Hi guys, and welcome to another Random Platypus review. It's kind of really not a review. This is my salute loot vid, which I seem to have done one of every year that I've been to Salute in recent years anyway. So I thought I'd start with some of the merch that I helped organise for the Random Platypus, and there are a few bits spare, so I'll do a blog post at some point for Poison Spurs just to let you know what is left. So this is the Random Platypus mug. It's our 5th anniversary. 5 years of randomly platypusing. We've got a dice tray as well, and it's this super cool stuff. This is from Deep Cut, and they're really cool. If you want to do some of these dice trays for your club and stuff, just contact them, because it works out as really quite inexpensive for a nice little accessory to have at your club, especially for events. If you're rolling in this, people are seeing it every time they roll dice. And talking of dice, we got these from Chessex, but we've been given a link to the people that Warlords use or South London Warlords use for Salute. So yeah, for dice, we went in several different colours this year. We've got some surprise bonusy ones for people at the day, and they were a sort of silvery blue colour, but I don't know if you can. Lighting in here is a bit crazy at the moment because I'm kind of by the window, which doesn't really help, but it's the same design with the lettering around the outside. So yeah, there's these ones which are kind of like smoky colour, but they come out in most light they almost look a kind of bit bluey purple, even though they're transparent with a slight tint. So they're really cool. Some are clearer than others, so I like those. And we managed to do the crazy bright green that we had, I think, the first year we did dice. So we managed to revisit those. I'm not sure if that will be clearer actually, because it's not quite so reflective. So yeah, that's the design. The forum member Matteo from Italy designed the logo this year. He used the original platypus logo and added a paintbrush to it. So I had it a moment ago, now it's gone. It's a bit harder to see on that, but you can see it better on the dice tray. I think we've got some dice trays left and we've got some mugs left. That's all we've got left for those. And also, I'm sneaking this one in. It's not exactly a what's the right way of putting it? Salute purchase, but it was purchased when I was by a friend who was in London who spotted these, and I kind of wanted one. So it was $9.99 in sale, reduced from $29.99. Apparently online they're going for even more. The Forbidden Planet in London selling the Alien Weyland-Yutani report. So I love having stuff for influence, or inspiration, should I say. So that was kind of a must for me. Then I shall go to other bits and bobs. I shall start with another mug, but it's the Salute mug. So there was one left at the end of the day after I've tried to get people to take them, basically. So it's self-explanatory. It's the apocalypse theme today, yesterday, which is a bit annoying because I didn't really know before the event. I'm not sure. It's probably more my issue than anything else, but I hadn't really kept an eye on whether they'd announced the theme of the event, which they do every year. Last year it was World War I, commemoration of the end of World War I, and this year was post-apocalyptic, or the apocalypse, which, you know, is one of the things I like, post-apocalyptic style games, and some of my sci-fi is a bit like that. So it's a bit of a shame, but you know, we got on with it. Also, Nate or Blackfly got a few dice off in at Fenris and gave me one, and it's one on the 20 it says yeah, and then on the 1 it says I don't know if I can put it on YouTube because it means I get limited coverage in that sense, but it's got a word that begins with F and ends in K, let's put it that way. So it's I think it's a brilliant combination. If you get a 20, it's brilliant. If you don't and you get a 1, it's not so brilliant. So there's that. Then I popped over to Mantic, and they were giving away free Hellboy minis because it's the first time I think they've had stock for selling of the Hellboy board game, which they released. I did initially back it, but I dropped out because the figures are quite big. What I'll do is I'll do separate vid to review the figures. Obviously this is one of the smaller ones, and it's Rasputin, so I might be able to find a use for him, because although he's smaller for the Hellboy game, they're still quite big, but I think I can get away with him being a bit big. I might even be able to take him off his base and put him on a rod to make him look like he's floating, which might help give, make some of his cloak not look like his body, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'll do a video to review that properly. I also picked up, they had like a little what's the right word, they had a little like grab box where there were random blisters and stuff for £5, and there were some loose bits for £1. So one of them is they've got like a Kickstarter mini. I can't remember his name now, I keep forgetting it, but he's riding a jet bike, and the jet bike's quite cool, and he's quite a cool mini, so I got him for £1. And then I got one of their Dwarf King's Hold, I think, characters for £1 as well, which looked really cool. Excuse me, for a sci-fi mini, oh no, a fantasy mini, sorry, a Dungeon Explorer. Right, let's reach into my bag of many things and pull more out. So also I got off a fellow RPer, Keith Sid, who had some of these resolution minis that he didn't really want anymore, so I got those from him. Now they're a bit jaunty and awkward looking, but I figured the arms and the heads are separate, so the bodies I could possibly use with some bits to try and make them look a bit better. So hang on, I shall just rearrange my loot pile because it's getting a bit, you can't see everything. Where are we going? I'll put that. There are bigger bits, so at the end I think I'll probably end up having to obscure things. Then I went over to Bad Squiddo Games, and I picked up a pre-order that I put in. So I don't know if any of you are on the forum, but recently I've been doing quite a lot of Saga, including a event in Norwich Castle, and as a result of that I decided that I need some cavalry, so I went to Bad Squiddo, pre-ordered some that were on discount, and I got myself some Dark Age cavalry. And again, I'll be reviewing these in videos later, hopefully, he says. I shall chuck that box out of the way. Also from Bad Squiddo, because she's had a bit of a sale on things, that's Annie, and I decided that I would probably make a few purchases from there, because there were some nice bits in there. One of them is the statuesque fantasy range, and it's the wizard. So I'm contemplating doing some Warhammer Quest perhaps, and it's a really nice wizard model. In fact, they do look like the kind of archetypal dungeon adventurers, so it's worth looking on there to see what they've got that you might like. So they've got dwarf, I think they've got a barbarian, possibly an elf. I can't really remember what they've got in there, but the wizard, an adventuring party that you would like, basically. Also, one of the projects I've been thinking of doing for a while is Incursion, and again, Annie had Gretel von X on offer, so I thought, well, I can't really not get Gretel von X if I'm going to do an Incursion project. So she sort of joins the throng of the stuff that I've got, and also Elizabeth Swess from Volsung, and the reason I got her is that she's going to be a bit alien-y. If you look carefully, she's got almost like little claws coming out from under her dress. So I'm going to have her, and she's going to be like the owner of a bar in my Necromunda campaigns. So what I need to do with her is put her on a Necromunda base, and then she's ready to go. Oh, no, that's probably best kept there. Then I went back to my usual of hassle-free. You can't not go to get stuff off hassle-free. And I got a Commander Slaughter to go with the other sci-fi figures that I've got. Or sci-fi troopers, should I say. And then I also got Major Hor. Mainly because one of my 40k armies was Kadashans, and I'm going to do kind of like a generic sci-fi jungle hunting team, which may or may not be an idea for next year's Salute as well, so keep an eye on that one. But yeah, I'm going to try and get some parts to convert up some things. As part of that, I'd gone over to Anvil for a quick look, and on the day before they said they were going to have these £10 like bits bags that were of slightly miscast things, and so I got one of those. Now at first glance it doesn't look like a lot, but actually there is a lot in there. I've actually got a full body hidden in there somewhere in the midst of it all. There's a full body. Yeah, you see that? There you go. Now, the miscasts are, sometimes there's a little bubble. Sometimes it looks like half the sprue came out and the others didn't. With those legs there, hopefully you can see them, there's quite a lot of flash. But to an experienced gamer like me, who's modelled stuff for ages and ages and ages since I was like 12, 13, that's really nothing, especially the kind of resin they use. It's not difficult to trim it up. There's an artillery piece which I might try and make a base for, because it's just the piece, but it's wonderfully detailed because it's got the slider and everything else, so that's something I'll put together. There's a nice load of parts in there. Basically I'm going to use some of the legs to make up the spare torsos of the Gene Stealer cults. I've actually got some that somebody was selling on eBay, so I just need some bodies to put them on. There's also Pumpkinhead, which I wanted to get some of to see what they look like, so it's handy there's some there, and I'll end up probably going to get some. But yeah, the miscasts is kind of crazy really. It doesn't seem like all of them are that badly miscast. It just seems more like somebody poured some resin in and maybe one of them's got an air bubble, which I understand. You don't want to sell something with an air bubble because somebody will say I want my money back, or something like that, or one of the heads hasn't come out right, or the sprue didn't come. Like for example, this one's got, I don't know how the glaives come, so whether it comes like that or not, but it almost looks like part of the sprue didn't cast very well. But there's 3 complete without any issues glaives on there, so I'll probably end up using those for something in Necromunda, I should imagine. But yeah, so that was a pretty awesome purchase for me. Now, the other one that I go to every single year without fail and make my room smell of burnt MDF is TT Combat. And I've just got a few bits to add to tables really. And there's a few things that I've always known I've needed, so I thought, well, I'll get them while I'm there. I've got 2 packs of, if I find it, the other one. I've got 2 packs of stairs to go with my Necromunda boards, because I find them to be a little bit more useful. And the other thing is if you work them out nicely, I think you can do them between floors, not just ground to the first floor, if that makes sense. So I got those. I got two lots of those. This is where I'll probably end up covering things a little bit. I also just got some very basic sandstorm barricades, just to add a bit of cover. Quite often we play games. I've got things like crates. I've still got more Fenris crates to paint yet, and they add some nice scatter and cover, but it's the ground level and sometimes other levels which you don't quite have enough for. And you've got double height barriers, single barriers, and then double length. Hopefully it just cut out a moment ago, so hopefully it hasn't lost too much there. But one of the other things I bought was some more walkways. So the nice thing about this, I'd held off buying this before because I hadn't really used my brain or engaged my brain properly, but I'd held off because of the struts under these, because I was thinking, well, that can't go between anything other than higher than ground level. But of course I've got other walkways like this one in the middle that can go between higher buildings, so as long as they're just the two that we use on the lower levels, that's absolutely fine. So again, it's £6 to add to what I've got. It gives me more walkways. It's exactly kind of what I needed to add to my table. I dare say I'll get more eventually. And then finally, because I need some more anyway, and the price was kind of too good, some green stuff. That's £6 for all of that. I really, you know, if I put my hand on it, you can see how much it is. There's quite a lot there, which is really, really nice. So that is all my purchases. The only other things I haven't shown on here are, I've got 2 Random Platypus t-shirts. I'm wearing one at the moment, the other one's in the wash because I wore it yesterday, and a hoodie which I'm also wearing because it's a bit chilly in here today, so I thought I'd put that on to wear. But yeah, that's my loot cache, which is, I don't seem to get as much as I used to, but there's still quite a bit here for me, so I'm quite chuffed with that, and it'll certainly keep me on. Anyway, what do you guys get for Salute? Why not come and have a look at the forum and comment on the thread that I'll link below about your Salute hoards, or hauls should I say, and whatever loot you got, and any special stuff that you might have found that people didn't know about. But yeah, hope you like this vid, and look out for future vids about reviewing some of the figures that I bought in Salute 2019. Catch you next time, guys. Bye now.